And so I'm to continue the story. I came back from Vegas around 6 a.m. and there was a goose, a white goose or geese, on top of my roof. And it's like I only saw it. My roommate didn't see it. I took a picture. I still have the picture of it, but it's like no one saw it or no one cared to notice. And so I know that's a sign. It's too strange and abnormal to not be a sign from everything going on. And I go and look up what does it mean, and I see, before the Holy Spirit came in a dove, it came as a goose or a geese, or whatever the name is, from the Celtic religion, and the original Holy Spirit came in the form of a geese, of a goose. I think it's goose. I'm just calling it goose. And that was crazy. And I never knew that. I have no way of knowing that. And keep in mind, I'm saying, all individual mentalities has an influence on our realities. So there was times I was thinking like maybe somehow I was influencing these events to occur. But how can things happen that I have no idea? How can I influence things that I don't even have the information within myself as far as consciously? I don't think I can. So I'm like, oh, this has to be a sign from God, that the Holy Spirit is really with me. It's really within me. And it's just kept, it was already strange. And now the synchronicities is coming a lot. Angel numbers. I'm seeing 333, 111, 666, 777. All these things keep coming to me. And I don't know what it all means. I don't know what it means. But my inner voice has constantly talking to me saying, you got this. Good job. And then it asks me a question. I realize this, it says, do you want to be a god? Without hesitation, I'm a kind of person that wants to try to be the best ever, to get to my highest level. And if I could become a god, like, why not? And that's why I thought, obviously I know I'm not going to become the god, but if I could become a god, why not? You hear these things like Hercules. He was a demigod and he got granted godhood. Or Kratos, the game Kratos, he was a human that became god of war. And so I thought, okay, maybe there's some to this. I don't know everything, maybe. I said, sure, instantly. And it said, okay. And man, things just got stranger from there, And I was watching this show called The Leftovers, and there was a scene where he believed that he had to get to another realm, and he didn't know how to get there. And there was this like shaman-like character that kind of told him, oh, you have to die, but I'll revive you. We're just going to stop your heart for a few minutes. And he believed him, and the guy really killed him. And it made me really paranoid that religious fanatics would try to replicate the awakening of Jesus, and would try to kill people that showed similar tendencies, just like weird things like that. And it got me a lot of paranoid fear in my heart, but I overcame it because I just thought about everything that was happening, and I know goodness was really occurring in my life. So I got over that, but that was a little weird. But moving from that, I got to, and I know I'm kind of all over the place with this story, but it's so many things that happen. Like it's hard to have a good chronological path. But I would say this, so at this point, I'm trying to get to my balanced normal life with this spiritual stuff that's going on. And I am walking down the stairs, I kind of am going through these supernatural events. I'm seeing like crows constantly everywhere. I'm seeing, animals and just things I didn't really ever see before. Like I see butterflies, like I see signs from the universe, or I take them as such. And I'm doing my laundry, and I'm walking down the stairs. And in my ear, I hear, help them. I hear help them in a real feminine voice. And I didn't know what that meant. And I ran around because in my mind, I'm thinking that God or an angel or some entity just whispered in my ear to help someone. And I can't find it. And then I hear someone fighting. I run to the sidewalk and I see across the street in front of the church, I see a car is broken down. I see two, a male and a female, they're around like 20, arguing with an older woman. And I'm seeing another guy walking away. And so I run and I say, "What is everything okay? What's going on?" And they explain to me that he's, the young guy and young girl explained to me that they're a couple and they're fighting with their mother because their car broke down. And I guess their mother's really upset, or they're trying to find a way to fix it. I don't know, but everyone's really upset. And I'm just going to make this kind of long story short. They both were real believers in the Lord and God. And I do feel as if God or my angels or my higher self or some entity told me, directed me to assist them. So their car is broken down, so I'm supposed to assist them. So I buy them a new battery. I buy them food. I give them money. And I try to help them the best I can. My grandma comes to pick me up, and this guy starts crying, saying how good of a person I am, And, end of the story, that guy eventually got baptized, and he really, believes the Lord now, and they're doing really well. I had to assist them a few more times and talk with them and mitigate things and things of that nature, but they seem to be doing all right now. I think God sent me to assist them with their issues and try to direct them to a better kind of way. And, that just made me believe even more. And I'm starting to hear a physical voice. This wasn't something in my mind. There's something outside of my physical self that whispered to me. And at this point, I truly believe. And then once the Holy Spirit also came in me, a spiritual entity entered me. This is just getting me to believe even more, And so I'm kind of going through it. And eventually, I finished that spiritual book. And just to give you some context, the spiritual book, Remember by Ram Dass, it really tells you that, you're God. It tells you that you are Jesus. You're all things. Your energy is connected to all energies. And that you gain power from this realization, this enlightenment. But the power you have is restricted by yourself. It's unlimited but restricted at the same time. And it tells you that people go through psychosis with this awakening, that people can lose themselves through the understanding of divinity. And, and the last chapter, I would say, of the book says, you can stop now, but only madman may enter here. And of course I enter, because why not? I finished the book. And, I've never been afraid of moving forward from these things. But a lot of supernatural things was going on when it came to the Holy Spirit, voices, And after I finished the book, it even got more severe. And I remember I was sitting down at I'm rearranging my life, getting more spiritual, feng shui, and doing all these tarot card things. I think I could do, I'm thinking in my mind I could do magic. And I look at my door, and in front of my face, a green beetle materializes out of thin air. It wasn't there before. It was in the it was on the side of my door, actually. And it materializes out of nowhere, out of thin air. Whoa. And that's one. A second thing happened too, where a fly. I try to really I don't like flies in my house, so I try to kill any flies I see, or gnats. And I hit a gnat, right? But I didn't hit it smashed it. I just hit it and pushed it, and I saw it go under my dish rack. And so I picked up my dish rack, and the gnat, it was 10 times bigger than a gnat. It was a huge fly, and I could not find a gnat. And I took that as God or source or some entity influencing the reality to make that fly bigger. And I know that, not a lot of people was going to really take that example. But at the time, with all these things happening, it really was obvious to me. And just so many things started to occur.